Hello and welcome to Shaka TV. Jokes, no. Hello everyone, I am Shaka and I want to welcome you back to my channel. And I wanted to kind of make this video to be a reintroduction to me and my channel here. So today's video is just a little bit more about me. Who is Shaka, okay? And also, how did I get to be where I am today? Which is, I think, a pretty cool story. Let's get into it. Pull up a chair if you're not sitting, grab a beverage, and let's get cozy and let's chat. So, for those of you who don't know, I am a dancer, I am a dance teacher, I am a choreographer, I am a performer, and I'm also a model, okay? But we're gonna be talking about how I became a dancer and a teacher in this video. Because I like to think of myself as a bit of an underdog. I don't have the classic dancer story. I don't really have a classic dance background by any means. And I think that really sets me apart, and it makes me all the more grateful for all the success that I have currently right now. So right now, I'm actually living in beautiful Victoria, BC in Canada. I was born and raised in Toronto, and I got a lot of my start there. And now I work for this amazing company, and I truly have, like, I would say, my dream job. But I never ever thought any of this was possible. Let me take you back to when I was just about a little seed. I was a kid and I just loved to dance. Whatever my dad played, I just got up and danced to it. I just like to move and groove. That was it. When I was a kid, that's what I loved to do.
You notice that she cannot sit still when the sun's on.
My dad definitely noticed that, and he fostered my love for dance, but he never stuck me in classes. He didn't take me to ballet classes. I didn't grow up and have any formal dance training until I was in high school, actually. So when I was in high school, I went to a tech high school for grade 9 and 10, and then I decided to go with my friends to an arts high school for grade 11 and 12. So I get to this school and they are teaching, you know, jazz, ballet, and modern dance. And I've never taken dance classes. I don't know what a plie is. I don't know anything. But I have this sense for movement. So I kind of know what I'm doing with my body, but I don't know the words, I don't know the lingo, and I have no technique. But I really did fall in love with it. I got to be in dance shows and do musical theater numbers, and it was just a lot of fun being in high school and having that, you know, dance was my first class every morning, and I was never late, okay? Fast forward to now, I sleep in all the time, but I was never late because I loved going to my dance classes. During high school, I also got together with my first boyfriend at the time, and he was a hip hop dancer. He was like a street dancer. And, you know, little old me, I've grown up watching tons of dance videos and dance movies my whole life. I mean, like, Step Up came out when I was in high school. You know, I fell in love with Moulin Rouge. I even watched Flashdance when I was a kid. Like, I just loved that, you know, dancer meets dancer, you know, from, you know, two different sides of the world, and boosh, now they're this like hot couple. And so I thought that it was the most amazing thing that I was in a relationship with another dancer. I was like, this is great. This is like my movie dreams come true. Can you say Save the Last Dance too, you know? And one day, silly me, I decided to kind of just tell him, just kind of like throw it in there. And I remember that day, and he looked at me and he kind of just laughed. He thought I was joking. And he was like, but Shaka, you're not a dancer. And let me tell you, that stuck with me for a very long time. Okay? I had never really thought that what made you a dancer was your training, your background, your experience, your credentials. I was like 17 and I just loved to dance, and I knew that I loved to dance. I knew that everyone who knew me as a dancer. You'd bring me to your family party, and as soon as I heard good music, I didn't care what was going on, I would be dancing, you know? So I knew it in my heart that I was a dancer. I never doubted it until he said that. And that really changed things for me. I no longer talked about dance. I no longer wanted to dance around people. I really sort of shut down with my outward interest for dance. I supported him. I went to his shows. I went to his, rehearsals. I took his classes because he put on classes, and I felt like, well, I guess if I'm not really a dancer now, maybe I can be if I start to take some classes. But I was very careful with how I presented myself and what I made it seem like I was, because I didn't want anyone to get confused. Clearly, I was no dancer. I just liked to dance. And that's what I started to tell people for a very long time. After that, fast forward, now, this relationship is fizzling out. I kind of stopped dancing completely. I would, kind of blast music late at night when no one was home and kind of start to just freestyle on my own just to see what would happen. I was kind of going through like a pretty depressed state with other personal things in my life. And to be honest, dance was there for me. Even though I wasn't a dancer, I still liked to dance. And that was kind of my outlet. When I needed that sort of therapy, I could go to dance, and it was always there for me. This relationship has now sort of fallen all apart, and I'm not with this guy anymore, which is great news. And I actually, because I was hustling with modeling, I was doing a lot of side gigs, I found out that I could be a go-go dancer. And for those of you who don't know, if you've ever gone to a club and you see like girls just like kind of on the rafters or in big giant glass balls or cages or what have you, there's a bunch of different ways that people do it. I was one of those girls. Those are go-go dancers. They're hired by the club. They get a cool outfit or a costume on, and you just dance all night and you get paid. And it's a great workout. No one bothers you. And that is absolutely what I love to go to clubs for. When I was young and I was in my club phase, it was not because I wanted to drink. It was not because I wanted to get with guys. It was not about that. I just loved to go to a place where they played really loud music. I could get dressed up and I could dance. So for me, go-go dancing was like the best job in the world. So I was doing that, and that felt so good for a really long time. But it was like kind of hard to get consistent work. The scenes are always changing with clubs and stuff in the city. And it was a really long time before I really found dance again. I would say I didn't have dance steadily in my life for almost about 2 years, And at this point, I'm in a new relationship and I'm at a job and it's kind of dead. And I pick up this like magazine or something, very Toronto-based magazine, and it talked about this dance class that they were calling a Beyonce class. And it was at this new studio that I'd never heard of, because I had some time where I went to some dance studios fresh out of high school thinking like, oh, but I love dance now. Like, I'd really like to take more classes. And try as I might, it was really hard for me to find a class that felt comfortable and safe and welcoming. I mean, I thought everyone in there was giving me the dirtiest looks all the time. I felt like so embarrassed to ask a question or not be good at something, like everyone was kind of like out for themselves. It was a very cold environment and I just really didn't enjoy it. So when I found this in the newspaper, I was pretty surprised and I kind of wanted to check it out. I was in a different place in my life. I haven't been dancing for a really long time and I could afford to take a couple dance classes. So I didn't know anyone and I didn't ask any of my friends. I just knew. I was like, next week, that's my day off. I'm going to this class. I got there and it was, they were doing it in heels. And I saw this on Instagram just prior to going to the class. And I luckily, I'd been dancing in heels for a very long time with go-go. So I was kind of pretty comfortable with that already. So I brought my go-go heels. I, found these really tiny little shorts at a dance store that were literally for children, but I wanted like the booty shorts. So, and I went in there and I just took the class by myself. I didn't know what I was doing. And let me tell you, I didn't fall, but I almost fell on my face so many times. I had no idea what these moves were. I couldn't remember choreography. I was slipping around. My heels were terrible for this class. They were going at with the speed of light and I just couldn't keep up, but I was not discouraged. I was having a blast. And when that song ended or when the routine ended and the song kept going, I just gave my whole self to the dance floor. I was like, this is where I belong. I belong dancing. I love to dance. Even if I couldn't keep up with the choreo, I still felt that I was supposed to be there, right? I took heels classes every week, sometimes twice a week if I could make it. And I was like a diehard at that studio. I went every week. Everyone knew me. I made friends in the classes that I went to. I went to the same class pretty much all the time, which was amazing. And I went for about a year straight. I'm not even kidding. a whole year of just that class. And it was amazing. Like, it was rough in the beginning. Let me be clear. I was not good. I didn't have technique. I didn't have strength. Couldn't remember choreography. You'd pulled out a camera in front of me and I would blank out and forget all the movement. It was not cute for a very long time, but I was so determined. I stuck with it. I really did. And, I do have a bit of natural dance talent, and it did come out, and I did start to get good. And this was the first style of dance that I had ever found that fit me. As a kid, I just shook my body and rolled my hips because JLo did it on the screen, and I just kind of did whatever I saw on Much Music at the time. But when I found like hip hop classes in high school, I was like, there's something about this that just doesn't feel right. I'm this tiny little white girl, and like, I just look weird doing all these moves, and I don't like wearing baggy clothes. Like, this is not really my style or anything. But that was kind of like the cool classes, the cool dance style at the time. So I just kind of figured, well, it's hip hop that I like. But it wasn't until I found heels that I was like, no, this is my kind of dance. This is it. This is what I got laughed at by my ex, because he was like, all you do is shake your ass. That's not dancing. And really, I mean, I can do a little bit more things than just shaking my ass now. But this was a class that was defined with sensual movement, with touching your body, with feeling yourself, with hip rolls and hair whips and stuff. All the stuff that just came naturally to me. This was what that was all about. So I was in love and I was in heaven, and this was the perfect place for me to be. And I stuck with going to class regularly for about 2.5 years. I even got accepted into a dance company. It was a beautiful time. I even was going to class through my dad when he was sick with cancer, and he actually passed away. I only missed like one class because I needed dance more than ever when that was happening to me. I needed a place where I could go release my body from tension, release emotions in a safe environment, and just really have an hour where nothing else mattered except what was going on in that class. And it was so necessary for me to have that during that time with my dad. These classes were different. The studio was different. People were nice to you. People were welcoming. People cheered for you. People were really supportive of others. Didn't matter what level they were. It didn't matter if they just walked in or if they had been coming here for years. Like, everyone was so friendly, and that was a big deal for me too. I never felt accepted by other dancers because most dancers have been dancing since they were 2, and they've gone through the competitive route, and they know people and they know things, and I was not that person. I started dancing. I didn't start taking dance classes till I was 23. I think I was turning 23 or turning 24. Like, I was so old at that point. I thought people my age can't decide to be dancers now. Like, people can't start dancing at this age. I didn't even want a career in dance. I was like happy to do modeling, happy to, do what else I was doing, but I just needed a place to dance every week. That's all that mattered to me. So I just really enjoyed that part about it.
And that was how I was able to start calling myself a dancer again. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to come back next week when I share part 2 of my journey on how I was able to start teaching dance when I had no intention of pursuing a career in dance at all. Take care, and I'll see you soon.